So, hello, Marcus. Would you mind us to tell a little bit about yourself?
Sure thing. So I'm brother Marcus Tan. I'm a Malaysian Chinese. I'm 24 years old now. Um, I study in a Chinese school in Malaysia, and then at the age of 11, I went to Shanghai to an international school to study for 7 years. Afterwards, I went to Hong Kong, City University of Hong Kong, to study computing mathematics. And then after I graduated, I directly joined the Dominican order. And I just made my profession, religious profession, last year. My story of faith is like, although I am a cradle Catholic, but at the last 2 years of high school in Shanghai, I experienced an existential crisis. I really thirsted for the meaning of life and the truth. Thing is that, uh, it's funny and it's bad, but it was because of procrastination. I had heavy procrastination. So my secondary school result was among the top in the school, but in the last 2 years, it really declined because I couldn't control myself. I was procrastinating, and then so what happened is that when I wanted to study, I know if I had only studied, I could catch up my grades, but then I would just at that moment of temptation, I would question myself like, what is the point of studying? And I found myself like I could not answer it. So then, I it's like an anguish to me. I just kept seeing it, my grades going down. So then I thought to myself, if only I had known my meaning of life and the truth, then when the temptation comes, I could overcome it because I would know the real meaning of study. And then so I kept searching for it, and I went to philosophy, other more scholarly sources, more objective sources, and I did not really think of looking into religion. I was not satisfied with like quick and easy answer, and to this point, at the age of 17, uh, I was in a vacation in Malaysia, and then I engaged in very serious soul searching, and then that's when I came to realize that Catholicism is good, but it it's not enough evidence for me. And then so I thought that I had to be honest with myself, or else I would not be objective in my search for truth. So then I decided consciously to give up my faith.
Wow,
Yeah, yeah, that was a momentous decision. I really thirsted for truth, but but then yeah, of course now I realize I was wrong. I was impulsive, and actually I did not give the Catholic and the Christian scholars a fair chance. I thought that they are biased already, or not rigorous enough. At least subconsciously, I was thinking that. So thank God I quickly repented. I went to confession very quickly, but still, although I repented, but I did not think to find my meaning of life in religion, in Christianity. I kept going to church, but I was quite cold, and I did not put God as my meaning. I continued to search in philosophy and other things, but I couldn't find it. But it was only in university in Hong Kong that I met a group of Protestant street evangelists. Uh, what impressed me was that although some of them they have very high academic backgrounds, but they could put Christ at the center of their lives. And as they were sharing, my heart started to burn. In a sense, I thought, what if Christianity could provide me with the truth that I sought? So then I decided to give Christianity a real chance. So I went in search in like scholarly debates between like atheists and or non-believers and Christians. These scholarly debates, I went in search of like Christian philosophical answers to science, to miracles, and then so through this process, Christ completely overcome me, and I became convinced that the Lord is true, He is living, and I decided to place Him at the center of my life.
that is amazing. So, what made you think Christ has called you to be a Dominican?
So after I convert, right? So at the end of at the last year of my university, I started to think, so what is God calling me to? And then I was considering the priestly vocation. So I went into search in multiple religious congregations in Hong Kong. I went to some of their retreats, their discernment process. Um, but at the end of the first semester of the last year of university, so around half a year after my search, I came to the conclusion that God calls me to marriage. So I was very attracted to marriage, uh, and then I thought myself unworthy to be celibate. Uh, so what happened? But then I still felt within myself a yearning for something greater, some sort of deeper uh, communion with the Lord than marriage. And thinking back, I mean, actually at that time I read a very insightful point is that, of course, we all feel naturally caught thirsting for marriage. It's just our natural gifts. But what matters is what is God supernaturally calling you to? By faith, what is God calling you to? So after I realized that, I look with faith, and I also look into myself, and I find I anyway. So my realization is that I want to have more. I want to have more. I forgot whether I read that insightful point after I made the decision to join the Dominican or before. But anyway, in retrospect, this is what I realized. And uh, so I one time there was I was looking at my past memory with the Lord in a deep prayer, and then the Lord just showed me that He can overcome my unworthiness to be celibate. He can overcome it, and then at that time I decided to join the Dominican order. So so having professed for 1 year already, uh, I want to say that at the time of my profession last year, um, I have become convinced that God calls me here, and that is um, because of three things. Number one, when the Lord breaks bread in the Last Supper, I know when He says, "This is my body, which will be given up for you," that is said to me. I'm in my heart. I just saw it, and I just felt so a deep encounter with Him. I felt His love, and I just want to give myself entirely to Him. Also, I trust in Him. Uh, so that's why I want to be in a direct communion with Him in celibacy. And then the second reason is that uh, I really want to preach. I know how many young people there are who cry out for truth and life, but they just do not know where to find it. And I want to be a preacher for them, to reach out to them, to find them. And then the third reason is that I am totally consecrated to Jesus through Mary, and this province of Our Lady of the Rosary belongs to her in a special way. It's that Our Lady of the Rosary touched me a lot in Fatima, in her apparition in Fatima, and I want to serve her in this province. And that is why I joined this province. And I become convinced that God calls me here.
Wow, that's really wonderful. So it has been a year since your profession. So how do you find this life?
So I'm convinced as I was that this is where God calls me forever. In this year I have got to study deeply. I got to read a lot of things on my own, and then I have a deep continual encounters with the Lord in silent prayers, and I have also chance to speak with high school students, those who may be in my shoe before, and to personally accompany some university students in their search for truth. So that is great. That it can, and I look forward that this place will fulfill my heart's desire. Although there are of course difficulties, but with God's grace, everything will be overcome. So yes.
Thank you, Brother Marcus, for your sharing. Any last comment?
So I mean, so thank you, and then I feel may my sharing encourage you who are discerning vocation to make the decision to this urgent call. God thirsts for you. If only you would say yes. And my last comment is that one thing that pushed me, to make that decision to join the Dominican order, was that I was reading one time in Summa Theologiae, question the second part of the second part, question 189, the last article. He was saying whether you should wait, and you should consider a long time before joining, and then his argumentation convinced me that I shouldn't wait anymore. When I hear it, I should just make the decision to join, and God will take care of me. Well, if I'm wrong, He will tell me clearly. But on my part, I should have just made the decision. So I made it, and I contacted with the vocation promoter. So may you contact us too, and contact wherever God is calling you. God bless you.
Well, thank you, Brother Marcus. God bless you.